talk about something that Jera brought up to me, which really brought up to a few of us. It was really important, and that is just making sure that when we get medical records in, just like what to do with them. And so, Jero, at any point, feel free to chime in, but I'm going to cover the basics, and then if you want to add to it, let me know. But I want to make sure that whenever we get a record in, that we do the right things with it, and that it doesn't just get scanned straight into the file and nothing else gets done. So these are some scans that I just uploaded. Some of these may have already been handled, but we're going to deal with right now. Let's see. So this was, all right, so this is a record that's been scanned in. It's from North County Chiropractic. It's for client Linaria Coleman Bay. All right, so the first thing you want to look at and see, is there an affidavit with it? And there is an affidavit. Affidavits are so we can use them in court, so that's key. We want to see what else is included in this. Got a chat. I want to make sure. Okay. Oh, thanks you. I forgot to share my screen, so that's important. So thanks for letting me know that. All right. You don't see my screen now? Yes. All right, cool. Sorry about that. So this is more from North County Chiropractic, Linaria Coleman Bay. We have an affidavit. They've got their lien, so we want to make sure we mark the file with this, which we'll get to that in a second. We have the records, and usually from a chiropractor, they include the records and the bills in the same set, and it looks like they did. Here's an affidavit for the billing records, and here is the bill. Okay, so what do we do with this? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to code it. So, and the coding is in Tetra, so if you have any questions about that, I'm not going to go into a big thing about coding today, but it's 11092018. The client is Area Coleman Bay. These are medical records and bills, and they're from North County. That's the typical way of coding them. There can be a little bit of variation, but not much. So in this scenario, I've got to download this so I can upload it to the file. But let's pick Coleman Bay. Here is her file. All right, so let me pull these up so you can see both screens. I think that'll probably be helpful. All right, can you all see both the medical records and the file? Hopefully you can. Okay, yes, good. Yeah, here we go. So here's here you go, the medical tab. All right, so this is, I already know this is not prior medical, but pretty much the same applies for if we're doing prior medical, but this is for medical. All right, so North County Chiropractic. I just want to look at this and see, okay, do we have anything from them yet? And see what this bill is. For $350. No, this is for more. So, and actually, North County Chiropractic, Christian Hospital. So I'm not sure where the $350 came from. I'll look at this and see. So we have a request. Those are all generated. So what we want to do is going to click on this and go and review a couple of things. First thing I did notice is that there is no doctor mentioned. We want to make sure we add Teeter to here. We just want to make sure we add as much information to these as we have on file. Okay, so add Dr. Teeter. He is a medical provider. All right, add it to doctor and add in this information, 10111 Lewis and Clark Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri, 63136. Okay. Phone 314-868-2220. Okay, so you'll notice that this has a phone. It doesn't have a fax number on it. Always see if you can find a fax, because if we can, this will always stay in the file. This is something we can use later on as we deal more and more with Dr. Teeter's office. So we want to try and find a fax number in the records. And if you don't see one in the records, then what we'll do is we will look on the website. And if there's not one there, then it's no big deal. So we've got, again, a phone number. Sometimes you'll see it on the bill. Phone number. I do not see a fax number. Okay, so let's look up Dr. Teeter. If they've got a fax number on the website, that way we can use this stuff later on when requesting medical records and bills. To the contact page. All right, I don't see one, so we'll just have to deal with what we have. What we have, make sure we put in here is North County. Make sure we put in here chiropractic care. If we know the specialty, we don't always know the specialty, but on this we definitely do. Chiropractic. Usually we won't have an email. You don't need to worry about a nickname. License number, language, and notes. You can put notes if you need to, but for example, no fax number that I could find. Or you can also put in notes if you know that that provider doesn't allow fax requests. So things like that will be helpful for people like Giro and Riza whenever they request those records. I'm sure they'll really appreciate that. So treatment is complete. If there's an account number, and I'll be honest with you, I don't want to plug in these numbers because I'm not sure if these are accurate account numbers. But if it's pretty clear that you know the account number, go ahead and plug that in here. Dates of treatment. Treatment started and treatment completed. These are key things that we want to start plugging in based upon what knowledge we have. And so here is an easy way of finding this is just looking at the medical bill. Okay, so I know we have date treatment started March 17th. That doesn't look like that's accurate. It looks like it was the 21st. And then we want to look and see April 13th was the last visit. So 0413018. So add that in there. Okay, last bills ordered. They were ordered 10/4. They're doing on 10/4. We have requested these, or they've been received. Okay. Yes, they've been received. So this is the key part. They've been received. The records invoice has been received. And I'm going to add this document to this. So let me hit save first, just to make sure I don't lose this information. And then, really weird, it didn't update that. Yes, yes. Some things didn't save, so I'm gonna go back and make sure that they're saved. Okay, so no need, if for some reason you've opened the file, and let's say we get the records but not the bills, and it's been a little bit of time, you can go ahead and activate this by either requesting these or check the status of, and this will alert Riza or Giro on what to do, or to request those. All right, requested, have records been received? Yes, yes. And then we want to add that, what records and bills we have. And this is what I coded a few minutes ago. There it is. And then on this one, we don't need the radiology. So what I'll probably do on something like this, I can add to FileVine a not applicable part right here. And will be It'll be pretty helpful. So what we need to do is, this is a nice reminder. Have we added the bill amount to the tab? And no, we have not. The total bill amount is $1,636. We want to make sure we add this, 1,636. Yes, that's been added now. Yes. No, we did not do a snag request. And then once you've done that, you hit save. Okay, so once you've added this basic information, you are done once you've uploaded, but you're not done. You're done entering data, but you're not completely done. What you're going to want to do now is you're going to pull up Slack, and I'm going to pull up my message. So this is pod 2. So this is a Jiro case, and I'm going to send him a quick message, and it's going to say, hey, looks like we just received records and bills for Pullman Bay. Please update file. So Jiro and Riza know a lot more about this stuff than we do. They're more they're trained more on actually reviewing medical records and bills. And so what they're going to do is they're going to go through the med summary tab, and they are going to update it with the injuries that we know about based on the medical records and bills. And then at some point, once we have all the records and bills, you're going to click this prepare medical summary button here, and Riza will prepare that medical summary and then upload it right here. So make sure you let them know as things come in, because what they're also going to do behind us is go to medical, and they're going to say, okay, did Tyson enter this information correctly? And do I need to request anything else? Because what they might notice in the records is that maybe the client went to a new provider and we need to request those records. And so Candace asked a good question. Snag Records is a service. So Snag Records is a service to request records and bills. We have not been using them. But if we do use Snag, what you're going to do is, I honestly don't even know how to use Snag yet. FileVine hasn't trained us on that. But if we send it through Snag, we will hit yes here. That way we know we're not doing it in-house. But we've got 2 rock stars that are working on them right now, and so I don't see a need to use Snag. But if we hit just a point where we can't catch up, then we'll use them. So that's a good question. So Jiro, I know I've left something out, just how you want these handled. Do you want to either talk or just mention something in the chat box and I can talk about it, and on what else you want to see whenever records and bills come in? And I'll take you off mute. Let's see. Yeah. So you're Jiro, you're unmuted if you want to talk. Okay, the activity tab. Okay. So what you can do is, another way of doing it, and correct me if I'm wrong, what you're talking about, Jiro, is you can also do, okay, this is pod 2, so we want to choose Jiro received records and bills for this client from North County, Cairo. Please update meds tab. So you can create a task if you want, or you can just, at least at the bare minimum, I'm glad you mentioned that, make a note in the file that you updated the file and that you uploaded it, because we want to know, we want to be able to look at the activity feed and see what's going on at all times. That's a good comment. Jiro, anything else you want me to add? I'm trying to skim through our conversation that you and I had with Shu. See if there's anything else we need to add. There's something that this part's crucial. Especially if it's in litigation, but if we get these records and bills in, and let's say that this affidavit's not here, you need to especially litigation, let the litigation paralegal, so either Ravi or AKP, know that this isn't here, because we will not be able to admit those records into evidence until we have received this affidavit and then filed a notice business records. So just know that we need to know this right away if an affidavit doesn't come in. But if it's not in litigation, make sure you alert Rob or Riza or Giro so they know that we need to request that affidavit right away. All right, so that is the gist of what I wanted to cover today. It's not a huge training, but anything else you all want me to cover? Any other questions you all have about this? And I'm going to also unmute everyone in case you all want to talk as well. Oh, yeah. So good question, Candace. We always want to make sure we provide the affidavits to the providers. We don't always do that. We need to. Yes, we should always provide those. But sometimes what they'll do is they'll still provide their own. So um, this this might have been one of ours. If not, it's very close to ours. So we need to submit our affidavit that looks similar to this. But a lot of the big hospitals have their own affidavits, so they won't even use ours. They'll send us our request back with a copy of their affidavit. That's a good question, Candace. What else do you all have? What other questions do you have? And while you all are typing in any new questions, I'm gonna pull up what you are talking about. People are awfully quiet today. Okay. Bear with me while this one downloads. Okay. Using the activities for pleadings that come in as well. So this is when we're ordered to comply with what the deadlines. Completely fine, AKP. Very good. Trying to find that affidavit, Candace, so I can show everyone. There we go. I didn't want to look in Tetra. I had it. It was in Slack though, so where I'm pulling it up. All right, so this one actually has both of them. I'll try and make this larger so you all can see it. So there's two affidavits, one for medical records. And if you ever need to find it, it's in Tetra, but it's also in the DocGen channel of Slack. And then here's the one for medical bills. When you just need to confirm. This is all, we're actually using legal terms and language that we need to use, actually have these admissible. And one of those is make sure that they're reasonable and necessary for the medical bills and the treatment. This is so that the records are, shows that they've kept these records in the course of business, regular course of business. So these are the affidavits we're talking about. But again, those are in Tetra and then also in Slack. All right. Anything else? Okay. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much. You all are doing a great job, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much. If you need anything from me, just let me know. Have a good day.